Good morning, babe. Well, oh man, let me tell you something about Pope Francis. He spent his last day doing mass, criticizing J.D. Vance, and praying for Gaza right before his passing.
Yeah.
What a legend. He spent his last moments doing that.
Well, I mean, we all know where I'm at on religion, in particularly the Catholic Church. But, the guy was,
I feel like Pope Francis was
arguably
definitely different than...
not as different as people would like to believe, but arguably a pretty good guy. Did a lot of good, did a lot of reformation in the Catholic Church, but there's also still a lot of cover-ups in the Catholic Church that were never addressed and probably never will be addressed.
Like what?
There's a lot. I'm kind of unprepared here because
Anyway, like what?
there was this disappearance of this girl named Emanuela Orlandi in 1983, and obviously that's before Pope Francis's time, but the case is still largely unsolved, and it involves the Vatican, the Russian mob, laundering money, and the Vatican, including Pope Francis, has basically refused to turn over any of the documentation to the authorities. The Vatican still refuses to turn over a lot of documentation to the authorities over child abuse, sexual scandals, moving priests around. So yes, Pope Francis did do a lot of good stuff, and he was arguably much better than all of his predecessors, but still a lot to be desired in the scale.
But don't you think that's probably political and it's not out of his hands?
He's the guy.
He is the guy.
He gets the final say in everything that happens there.
Okay.
So
I don't know how that works.
He's still protecting his interests and the interests of the face of the church and the organization over.
Do you think they handle things in private? If they do, instead of what it
would
be for like the public, so they may.
No. You can look all this stuff up. You can look.
I'm just asking questions.
And I'm answering them. You can look up Emanuela Orlandi and the case.
And how long ago was it?
This was in the 80s.
80s?
Yes.
Come on now. What? I'm talking about some
something
recent
bad happened a long time ago.
No, but what? No, I'm not saying that. But what's recent happened?
That is recent because they're still investigating it and they're still covering it up. They're refusing to turn over documents to the authorities in this case.
Okay. But has there been anything recent?
There's tons of recent stuff. There's been sex abuse in the fucking Catholic Church all through the 90s, 60s, 50s, 70s, all the way up to today. And they've moved priests around and refused to convict people and try to handle things internally instead of letting the criminal justice system handle these people. Yes, the Catholic Church is one of the scummiest organizations on earth. Always has been. So yes, he did a lot of good. He seemed like a pretty decent guy, but still put the church before the people and before doing what was right, ultimately, in a lot of cases. So, yes, two things can be true.
But the 80s?
That's one that came to my head because I listened to a podcast about it a few weeks ago.
So people on podcasts, they'll sit there and poke somebody apart, even on their last...
Well, this was like months ago. This was before he died. This wasn't like about him. It was just about the church in general.
The church in general.
He is the head of the church. He has the final say in everything. So, yes, there are people that pull the strings behind the scenes and do various things, but at the end of the day, he's the guy that gets to make the decisions.
Oh, woke up to this next order of business. Our president going unhinged in a recent post. I guess, is it on Twitter?
Well, I don't know what it's on, but it says, Happy Easter to all, including the radical left lunatics who are fighting and scheming so hard to bring murderers, drug lords, dangerous prisoners and the mentally insane, as well as MS-13 gang members back into the country.
So fucking...
And it goes on, like, I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's so crazy, but, like, oh, and here's some Biden shit. To Biden and all those who cheated in the 2020
Oh,
presidential.
he's such a fucking liar. Whatever.
So, fucking whatever, man. I don't know. Like, first of all,
he deflects so fucking hard.
There is no left in this country. There's right and there's center. There's no left.
Exactly.
There's no left. Because if there was a left, you'd have universal health care, and you'd have free college, and you'd have a $20 an hour minimum wage, and you'd have unions at every job, and you'd fucking have rights to housing, and fucking, you'd have rent protection and rent control and mortgage protection, and you don't got any of it. There ain't no left in this country, and there sure as hell ain't no radical left. So, nope. But yeah, fucking, it's typical Trump, you know, fucking suck all the air out of the room and fucking rant and rave about a problem that isn't really a problem to deflect from all the fucking actual problems that you're creating. So, you know, I mean, and they're still not bringing this guy back. Hey, we did find out he's alive. That's cool. So, you know, the Kilmar Garcia dude, he is alive, and he met with his senator or congressman, I forget, the guy went down there and basically said, hey man, I'm not leaving until I talk to this dude. So he is still alive. That's good. Obviously, I'm sure the administration is dragging their feet now at this point just because they know that this dude is going to sue them into oblivion when he gets back. But
they're saying he won't be able to come back.
Right. No, the administration is saying they're not bringing him back, but the court's saying he can come back.
This is going to be real interesting how
but he is alive.
play out.
He is alive. So I was wrong about that. Or, I mean, at least one of my scenarios was wrong. I presented a few, but I think at this point they're going to drag their feet as long as they can because they know that this dude has a monster of a lawsuit coming when he does get back here. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, you know, the Pope passed away, and he did seem like he was a pretty decent guy, but he did put the church before what he probably should have been doing in some cases. So, you know, Trump's still an idiot. That guy's still in prison. So I think we're kind of up to speed. I don't know. I'm sure there'll be more shenanigans to talk about soon enough.
So ridiculous. Anyway, happy Monday.